Alright, you guys, so today what I want to look at, help you guys to understand, is the VIX. And so the VIX is basically just indicating volatility, and during times of low volatility it will trade lower. As far as traditional markets, when you work with put and call options on the VIX, it makes kucoin look like child's play, because this thing can move 20% in a day, and a call option on the VIX or a put option on the VIX can burn you or make you a lot of money super quick. So I'm familiar with that. It's called UVXY, and maybe for another day. So basically, VIX indicates the volatility, and so before I was talking about waiting for a break of this boundary. So when we were in the when the SPY was trading, when the SPY was in this danger zone here, right around here, I was talking about watching for this. So how did we know that there wasn't going to be a collapse? A lot of people were talking mass fear and a collapse, but what happened was the VIX stayed below that boundary, so that told me that we were still going to hold that level on the SPY, and that we were probably at some kind of a short-term low. So the reason it's really important today is because you just came off a really big rally with the SPY. Okay, we just had these really big up days. As you can see here, the SPY broke out of this wedge pattern, and it came into this level of resistance, right? So now if we were going to see a continuation, likely the VIX wouldn't be moving upwards, right? The VIX would be coming down if you were going to see a continuation here. So the importance of it is if you're trying to anticipate a move, there's a few indicators on your screen that are going to show you what's happening. This is your short-term radar. Look at it like this. This only can see, the VIX can only see maybe 50 feet in front of you, whereas something like oil will show you what's 3,000 feet in front of you, what's coming in a couple months. And so one of the calls on oil I made was on, well, I started to make the call here, but it was on June 17th, and at that time, no one was talking about a recession as something that could happen this year. Even the people who were talking recession, they were saying 2022, 2023. And on this day, on June 17th, that's when I called early recession, because what we should have seen is peak oil. So oil will show you what's going to go on in the future. We should have seen oil move into a peak, because summertime, everybody's driving in June, right? So it should be peaking. Okay, and the fact that it came down like that in a given day, that told me that there was some demand destruction, and that we would see this move in oil, right? And so that's more of a macro indicator, but the VIX, that's your kind of what's going on in this moment, right? So that's why I want to bring it out to you, because we're looking for the continuation pattern on the SPY. You're looking for, is it going to break and continue higher? You know, is it going to come into, is that going to flip as support, right? And are you going to see that move where we start to set up support here, and then, you know, that serves as resistance. But what this early indicator is telling me is that we're probably going to get trapped here, right? And so I just want to bring that to your attention just real quick on, you know, how the VIX affects the SPY. And so my focus is always on, you know, everybody's figured out how to trade Bitcoin in relation to the SPY. They understand, but they don't know what is causing the SPY to move. So they often miss the moves, or they're they're just doing guesswork here. So I'm not doing guesswork. I'm saying that over the next couple days, we should see volatility return to the SPY. Now that volatility, that doesn't mean necessary downside, but you know, in our current conditions, it seems to lean that direction, but it could also move to the upside. So the VIX isn't telling you up or down, it's telling you about volatility. Uncertainty is another way to look at it, even though it's not totally precise, but you could kind of look at it like that. So I just want to bring that to your attention that we're seeing volatility come in on the VIX. You know, it gapped up and you got, from starting on, if this were Friday, you know, you got almost a 10% move there, you know. So it's not the end of the world, but it's just something to understand. So if you're playing this pattern with Bitcoin, you know, as I've been talking about, you can expect you might hold this support here. You might actually kind of break down to here. You know, it might come into this 22,501. That's actually where I have a little bit more confidence going long. And then you might see some volatility come in, and we might see that move back up to the gold box where you start to collect the kucoin short ETFs. And or if we stay, okay, so let's say that we stay here. Let's say we consolidate here over the week, and that gives Bitcoin a chance, and this is what I'm really looking for my personal, like I said, it's not what you should do, it's what I'm doing. What I'm looking for is this move here, right? Long, take profit, probably consolidate, and then I'm going to look for this volume spike, the liquidation style move, and that's where the short, a leverage short comes in. And this VIX is telling me that might come a little sooner than later. And so that's what I'm looking for. And anyway, I hope it helps. And, you know, keep on keeping on.